Good morning, students. We're going to be working on page 76. And today we're going to be comparing decimals, and we're going to be comparing and finding which one is greater, which one is least, or are they equal to. We're going to compare these decimal numbers. So let's get it right into it and begin the first couple problems. So let's zoom in. And let's start with 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, 3E, and 3F. What we're going to be looking at first is our holes. We can see easily here that these represent the same amount, the same holes, right? So three ones and three ones, they are equal so far. Our next one, the next place value we're going to look at tenths. And we're going to look at the tenths here, and we're going to find out that these tenths, sorry, let me make my arrow just a little bit better. There we go. We can see that this has 7 tenths, and this decimal has 4 tenths. So this is 3 tenths larger. So I already can easily distinguish that this decimal 3 and 75 hundredths is much larger. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's look at our whole numbers. We're going to look at 4 whole and 4 whole. So those are the same whole number. Let's continue. So let's go to the tenths. We have 2 tenths and 1 tenth. And, well, this has plus 1. It has 1 more tenth. So I know that this is my greater decimal, 4 and 21 hundredths. Pretty simple so far, not too bad. All right, let's continue. We're going to look at our wholes. So we have 2 whole and 3 whole. Well, this is exactly this is easy. I mean, this is much larger. It has plus 1 already. It's 1 whole larger, so that's a simple one. Okay, let's go to this next one. We have 4 whole and 6 whole. This one's a simple one as well. This is plus 2 whole, so this is greater. Okay, I want you to try and solve for this next one. So E. Do the same thing we've been doing. We're looking at place value here, and I want you to you look at place value and see which one is greater, less than, or equal to. All right, so let's focus on each place value. So let's focus on this 10. So we have 110 and we have 110. So that's the same. We have 2 ones. And we have 2 ones. So they're the same. So far we're equal to. What about this tenth? Let's look at this tenth. We have 7 tenths, and we have 7 tenths. Okay. We have 7 tenths, but this has a 0 at the end. So they're saying that this is 7 hundredths. But we know that 7 tenths is 70 hundredths. So they are the same thing. So this answer is actually equal to. Cool. Let's try this last one. So we have one whole and 1 whole. So still good there. We have 9 tenths and 2 tenths. So this is plus 7. This is much larger. So there you go. Bingo. All right. I hope that this is pretty simple so far. It really is. I mean, we're just looking at place value, and if it has more tenths, it has more hundredths, that is the decimal that you want to choose. But let's go to this bottom here, this bottom section. And this is where it gets a bit more complicated. This is where it's going to get a tad more complicated. So we have 23 tenths. So if I made that into a fraction, it would look like this. 23 tenths. And if I took out the wholes to make this a decimal, to make this a regular a mixed number, I would take out 10 tenths. I would take out 10 tenths. That's a whole, and that's a whole. And I would have, well, I'd have 3 tenths left over. So as a fraction, it would be 2 whole and 3 tenths. With 2 and 3 tenths. Well, guess what? This is equal to. Same thing. This is the same thing. Next, we're going to be working on 1 and 4 tenths. So this decimal is 1 and 4 hundredths. You should see that they're asking you, hey, we have 1 and 4 tenths. And you should know, hey, if we look at it, we have 1 whole. We have 0 tenths, and we have 4 tenths. So this is much larger. This is much larger, and that is the fraction we're looking for. So I want you to continue this lesson going into C, D, E, and F. And I want you to try to do this on your own. So you should see that this is 6 and 7 tenths and 6 and 7 hundredths. So do the same strategy where you look at each whole number, you look at each tenth, and you decide, you look at each tenth and you decide, hey, which one is larger? And do that for each one. It's going to be a bit tricky, but take out the tenths, or take out whole numbers, such as 10 tenths and 10 tenths, and until you get the fraction you're looking for. Have a great time. Show me your work at the end of this, and if you need any help, please ask me in class on each problem and comparing decimals and fractions and greater than, less than, or equal to. All right, have a great day.